property, I think we all know that. I've definitely had, especially this year, some really big challenges, whether it's from refinancing or getting property deals over the line. And I think the biggest thing that I've seen between the people that succeed and the people that don't succeed is persistence. That's the one key thing every time. To be quite frank, coming to meetings, you see a lot of turnover. There's a lot of people that come once or twice, don't get what they want out of it, and you don't ever see them again. And guess what? Those people, you might run into them in a year's time, now come back in 2 years, and they haven't got much further. But it's all the people that come up and turn up every single month, they deliver on the promises, they keep going, no matter what faces them, because it's not always easy. They're the ones that actually do succeed. And that's what I've tried to do every step of the way. One example of persistence is this right here. And so those properties that I was talking about, those 4 houses in Leeds that I bought, it's actually a really good deal. I actually agreed to buy them when I was on holiday in Turkey. And that's a bit of a weird thing to do, and I don't recommend you do that often. But I've somehow managed to get a knack for offering on properties that I've not actually seen. And so I had this sourcer that I knew very well, I trusted him, and he brought these 4 houses to me and he said, this is a really great deal, you should definitely go for it, they'll be gone soon, you should take it. So I said, yeah, why not? I put in an offer, didn't really know how I was going to fund it at the time even, but I decided to put in an offer. And about 2 weeks later, we started the legal process and all that stuff, started looking for mortgage options and stuff, already invested a bit of money into the deal, just to secure it. And I decided when I was back from holiday, I'd go and see the property. And so I turned up, about an hour drive to get there, and I turned up and saw this when I arrived, and that was not on the brochure. There was no fire damage that I've been told about at all. I thought these were 4 perfectly fine houses, bit of fresh kitchen, fresh paint, that kind of thing, not this level of damage. And I was very confused and rightly a bit worried, I think. And so I didn't even get that car, I just pulled out my phone and looked at the brochure to see the photo that I'd seen of the property, and there wasn't any fire damage on it. So I thought, right, I'll call the sourcer who sold this deal to me, I'll ask him about it, he's sure to know. Called him, he was just as confused as I was. So then he turns to the property, kind of walking around trying to figure out what's happened. We then called the landlord who already owns the property. He doesn't know either. And I think if your property had been on fire, I'm pretty sure you want to know. And so I was really panicking at this point, so I thought, what on earth have I got myself into? I'm kind of committed to this now. And actually, we ended up going to one of the tenants nearby. Luckily, this property in particular was empty at the time, so no one was in it. However, the next door neighbour had kind of answered the door quite sleepily, and apparently about 3 AM in the morning, some kids had thrown some fireworks into the bin in front of the house. It caught light to the gas meter in the front of the house, and the whole front just went up. And luckily no one was harmed, but it was one of those things that was just, quite really unfortunate. And at this point, I was starting to think about any way that I could get out of this deal. I called my mortgage broker, I called my solicitor, thinking, asking the questions, how much money have I put into this? Can I get out of it? Is it too late? And really worrying. But actually, the next day, I was in Birmingham and I was going to one of my property events. And I thought, I'll bring this as a problem, I'll say, what on earth should I do? Is anyone else want to take this off me? And I went to that event, and pretty much everyone there said different ways that I could make more money out of it. I hadn't thought about any of that. It was only when I started to talk to the people that they started to suggest things like, I could get a discount on the property now, because there's still time for that. I could get the landlord's insurance to do a full refurb for me of the house, and I could get a brand new kitchen and all that stuff. And there were all these different options about how I could solve this. And actually ended up with me saving more money on the purchase price, about £20,000. And I got a new refurb for the kitchen, new paint, all the smoke damage cleared, new door, all of that. And so it was actually just because I didn't give up there and then, and I decided to go ask other people about it, that deal ended up making me even more money when I really could have given up. And we fixed it, got the refurb done, all that stuff. And it's just time and time again, it's been situations where I could have easily given up, and there's something that's made me carry on, and it's pretty much always worked out for the better. Success is not final, failure is not fatal, it's the courage to continue that counts. And continuing, you won't see any successful people that have kind of given up when they failed, because otherwise they would